Did you hear that CNN perhaps is going to, because of its collapsing ratings, is going to fire a bunch of top level talent, that MSNBC, Comcast may sell MSNBC off, that we're seeing enormous repercussions in the media world and in the media space. And it reminded me this morning of the movie Network. Have you ever seen the movie Network? It was created or released in 1976. It's an incredible movie. I'm talking about, it's one of the great. It's not quite The Godfather, but if you're interested in the American media, you want to see a movie that's like so ahead of the curve and so relevant today. Network, I'm telling you, is probably one of the 10 greatest movies ever made. I believe The Godfather, Godfather 1, 2, right there. But I'm telling you, Network is right there. It's about this old television broadcaster named Howard Beale. And for you young people, I know some of you older people, perhaps over 40, maybe you've seen the movie, but he's got these declining ratings and they're gonna fire him. And he goes on one of his last shows before getting fired, and he does this angry man populist routine, and he starts screaming and yelling about how I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. And the show, people start going to their windows in their apartments in New York and around America and start shouting, I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. And the movie makes so many incredible points that are relevant to today. It even has a Black Lives Matter like character or theme in there. I think they're called the Ecumenical Liberation Army. Angry Black liberation people, whatever. The movie's incredible. And it reminds me of like Elon, it changed the media. It forecast and predicted that like the Keith Olbermanns or the Bill O'Reillys, or even to a lesser degree the Tucker Carlson of the world, that TV media would transition into more entertainment, a mix of entertainment and news, and that these populist figures would become very, very popular and dominate the TV news cycle. And this is in 1976. I'm telling you, this is one of the most relevant movie from 50 years ago. Because 1970, that's nearly 50 years ago. And it's like 1984. It's like a George Orwell type movie. And it made me think like Elon Musk is Howard Beale. He's mad as hell. He's not going to take it anymore. You know what? I'm just going to let the truth all hang out. I'm going to tell you all the things that I'm not supposed to tell you. I'm going to be a proponent of free speech and radical transparency. Because Howard Beale was talking about, he originally went on air and said, like, hey, I'm going to commit suicide. And everybody took like, oh my God, this guy's on TV talking about committing suicide and he's mad as hell. He's not going to take it anymore. And Elon Musk is not suicidal, but he certainly reached a breaking point where he's mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to spend $44 billion on Twitter and change the entire media landscape. And he has done that, and we are the benefactors of that. And you can see the media landscape like changing incredibly fast. So Trump gets elected and everybody has to deal with the fact like, dang, the media's lied to us again. COVID, they lied to us. The 2016 election, they lied to us. The 2020 election, they lied to us and went along with the steal. They've lied about an insurrection. They've lied about how close this Kamala Harris race is going to be. They've lied to us about everything. They've obliterated the truth. And there's this African man, Elon Musk, is like, yeah, they have lied. And I'm going to fix those lies with a radical form of transparency and free speech authorized over X, formerly Twitter, and we are benefiting from that. Let's be honest, the insurance model is broken. Crowd Health puts your health care back in your hands. Use the promo code FEARLESS at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com, promo code FEARLESS. And I wake up every day now, and I tweeted this out this morning. It's like I used to open up the Twitter app with apprehension and dread, like we're gonna get bad news. I now wake up like excited and thinking like, oh man, can't wait to open X. I'm gonna find some good news on here. Things are going our direction. The truth is being set free. And so I wanna play you this clip of a woman named Catherine Marr. She's the CEO of NPR. She used to work for Wikipedia basically. She's worked at a bunch of places. And she's a leftist. She's one of these woke DEI contraptions that has been foisted upon us. But she embodies and represents, and her way of thinking represents the time that we're living in. We're in a struggle for the relevance of truth and the defense of truth. And how do you get at truth? Elon Musk believes that you get at it through radical transparency. You get at it through free speech. The left believes, no, you get at truth by shaping it and by censoring free speech and by coming to some kind of consensus and the devaluing of truth and the prioritizing of feelings. This is the central difference between man and woman. And I'm not saying this to denigrate women. They're made different. They think different. They prioritize feelings. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. They want to affirm everybody's feelings. Men, in their proper mindset, prioritize truth, even hard truth. And it's the truth sets us free. The truth allows us to deal with our problems, not mask our problems. It's like, Jason, you could sit here and lie to yourself and say, hey, you don't have a weight problem, and those weight problems aren't going to complicate your life. Or you can deal with the truth of, yes, you have a weight problem. Don't buy bigger pants. Don't normalize obesity. Don't try, obesity is really beautiful, and Lizzo is great at her size, and there's all these fat people that are really handsome. No, don't do that. Deal with the truth. It's an affront to God. It's unhealthy. It's not attractive. Now operate from that mindset, that truth. Anyway, I want to play this clip from Catherine Marr, that she's the head of NPR, a government media platform that our tax dollars pays for. She should be using her position to safeguard truth, but she's not. This is her from a TED Talk I believe she gave 2 or 3 years ago. Play the clip.
But what about the hard things, the places where we are prone to disagreement, say politics and religion? Well, as it turns out, not only does Wikipedia's model work there, it actually works really well. Because in our normal lives, these contentious conversations tend to erupt over disagreement about what the truth actually is. But the people who write these articles, they're not focused on the truth. They're focused on something else, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years of working with these brilliant folks, I've come to believe that they are onto something, that perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done. Now, that is not to say that the truth doesn't exist. nor is it to say that the truth isn't important. Clearly, the search for the truth has led us to do great things, to learn great things. But I think if I were to really ask you to think about this, one of the things that we could all acknowledge is that part of the reason we have such glorious chronicles to the human experience in all forms of culture is because we acknowledge there are many different truths. And so in the spirit of that, I'm certain that the truth exists for you and probably for the person sitting next to you. But this may not be the same truth. This is because the truth of the matter is very often, for many people, what happens when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world. So we all have different truths.
Now, call me a sexist pig, and perhaps I am. But this is why I'm very suspicious of female leadership. That's gobbledygook. That's unbiblical gobbledygook. That you can't run a society based on that gobbledygook. There is no truth. And those of you that share a Christian values, a Christian belief, this is the antithesis of the Bible. The truth sets you free. The Bible is the truth. It's God, it's life spoken through God. This is how her mindset is how you have a debate over whether there are more than two genders, because there is no truth. There's just what you believe. It makes man his own God. There is no truth. There's just what I believe, and we must prioritize that. And then she said, it's why we have these great chronicles. And so what she's saying, it's why we have these great books and these great narratives, because we get to play around with the truth and fudge it, and that's what's important. This country has been in free fall and in chaos because we've allowed this type of thinking into leadership positions. And we've tolerated it because, I don't want to be called sexist for calling it out. I don't want to be called homophobic for calling it out. I don't want to be called racist for calling it out. And so we've tolerated this level of madness and insanity, and thank God, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, mad as hell, not going to take it anymore. This is the time that we're living in, and it's a great time to be alive because I'm seeing men of great wealth and power and significance start standing up for truth and start understanding how, like, these institutions must be torn down that don't adhere to some level, some form of truth, belief in truth. I look at President Trump that's now created this Department of Government Efficiency, and he's put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of it, and we're going to start gutting these government institutions that are destroying America and destroying our freedom and destroying our freedom of speech, and creating people and putting people like Catherine Maher in power. And so once Catherine Maher is in power, and everybody can see, well, that line of thinking is in power. This is how men become very feminine in their thinking, while putting on a very masculine pose. I'm a big, tough man. I'm a former professional athlete, but your thinking is very feminine because it's in style now. You're not willing to stand on truth. And so help us grow the Fearless Army. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all your fearless friends.